Good morning. It is 9:47 a.m. on Saturday, July 24th, 2021. I'm Christiana Ellis, and I'm leaning way over to this side because this is where my microphone is right now because I have a little dog sleeping against the base of it, and I would have to wake him up and move him in order to move the microphone to its normal position. And clearly I'm not going to do that. So instead, I'm doing this. So I somewhat reluctantly regret to inform you that I kind of like the new He-Man show. Now, maybe it's judgmental already for me to have even presented it that way, but I have to say that I wasn't especially interested. I mean, the truth is that I watched a lot of those kinds of shows as a kid, like G.I. Joe and Transformers and all of those other TV, toy commercial TV shows. And the thing is that I have sort of a lingering affection for like G.I. Joe, maybe even Transformers a little bit. Some of those shows. But honestly, like He-Man, the action figures were kind of cool. Some of the toys, like the castle toy set, was kind of cool. But to the extent that I cared about any of it, I thought the toys were way more interesting than the show. I didn't really have any special nostalgia for it. And so when the She-Ra cartoon came out, I was like, well, people are talking it up. So I decided to watch it. And frankly, I enjoyed it as a show completely independently of any prior affection. Like, it's not like I had been a fan of the old She-Ra or something. I was not. So it was like, yeah. But then that show became a show that's exactly the kind of show that I like to watch. So with this one, there are people talking it up. It came from Kevin Smith. I've certainly enjoyed a lot of the stuff that he does. And, I'm thinking, you know what? It's only 5 episodes. I will watch the first episode and see how I feel about it. And I found myself feeling almost a little bit frustrated that I wanted to keep watching. I have too many shows out right now. I don't need another show to watch. This one's only got 5 episodes out right now. But here's basically the take on it. In advance of watching it, I figured there's two ways to go, right? There's just lean into the nostalgia and almost effectively like remake the old show with sort of slightly fancier animation and maybe bump up the intensity a little bit because you're obviously targeting adults who remember that show. Or you go with the subversion reinvention route. And really oddly, it's kind of both. I'm not going to spoil everything, but what I will say is most of the first episode is really a lot like, what if we just make a new episode of that old show? Complete with a lot of the really cheesy humor and everything, and then, have maybe just a few hints that these characters actually have thoughts and emotions, and then end that episode with a surprising event that I won't spoil, that completely changes the dynamic for the rest of that series, except for the occasional flashbacks that are once again kind of like that old cheesy stuff, but for the purpose of the people in the new status quo to kind of remember that fondly and think about what lessons could be taken from it, for example. And it's not bad. I think I wouldn't call it a masterpiece or anything. Masterpieces of the universe. But I don't know. I liked it okay. Yeah. So what I will say is in any of the parts where they are making any attempt at all to be more serious, there are definitely entire scenes where they pull it off relatively well, and then they have to mention a character's name and they're using the characters from the old figures. And I don't know how well you remember the He-Man stuff, but all of the character names are so dumb. And so you have this scene that's really interrogating the repressed fear that a character has and getting into deeply psychoanalyzing what is it exactly that they feel that has led them to shut others out and so on, and getting into that. And then, oh, well, turns out that this evil ghost thing that's forcing them to do that is named Scare Glow. Minor spoiler, I guess. Anyway, I will leave it there for now, and I will talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.